Showtime! The Capital G show starts right now.
What's up YouTube, Capital G here, talking different dimension monsters in this video and how I think that these guys in this particular format are going to be very, very good cards. I think that these guys are actually very viable right now, obviously coming out of the side deck, but if you're running something, you know, more of a slow pace, something like Chain Beat, Stun, Trap Tricks would have to fall in that category. Anything that's slower or anti-meta, I think that you'd probably be able to fit a couple in the main deck, and people will probably think, oh, Capital G, we know that the DD cards are good, but, you know, here's the thing. These cards were never bad, but come on. While Dragon Rulers were a thing, you just couldn't play these cards, you know? And let me be clear, I'm not just talking about DD Warrior Lady, which for the most part gets the most attention anytime you say DD cards. I'm talking about DD Assailant too. You know, Dragon Rulers, pretty much their existence held these cards down for obvious reasons. Like, if your opponent had a dragon on the field and it was your turn and you wanted to mount some type of offense, you had to get rid of the dragon, and unfortunately, if you use one of your DD's effects, then your opponent was just going to go +1. Like, you were going to lose your monster, they were going to lose their monster, but their dragon was going to replace itself, so it didn't really help you out unless you were like going to win that turn. It was a move that you didn't want to do. And even if you used it defensively, like you set it there and they ran into it, you know, you got the 1-for-1 that you wanted because they probably summoned the dragon that turn unless they tributed for it. But then they could just activate Return from a Different Dimension, as we often saw that deck did. And then, you know, just like that would just completely go downhill. So it's like, it was kind of like a no-win situation against that deck. Anyways, fast forward to the meta that we're playing in right now. And I think against some of the matchups that I'm seeing, like what's trending right now for the format, I think that these cards are going to be, again, very, very good. You know, first off, they're both really good against Evil Swarm because they deal with the key monster in the deck. We all know that to be Ophion, and they all get around what I like to refer to as the Ophion Protection Army. You know, the cards like Pandemic Virus and Safe Zone, Forbidden Dress. Yeah, none of those are going to save your Ophion. So, you know, it's definitely good in that matchup because it takes out, well, pretty much the core monster of the deck. And did anybody else notice that Fire Kings have seen like a complete surge in popularity lately? I know that they got second place at a 140-person tournament. I believe it was in Germany, and Garunix is definitely a problem card. You know, it blows shit up, has 2700 attack. If you run it over in battle, it replaces itself. Okay, well, the DD monsters take care of it. You just ram into his ass, and bada bing, bada boom, he doesn't come back. He's not summoning himself. He's just dead forever. In fact, you know, it really just takes care of all the Fire King monsters without triggering them. So it's just good against the entire deck in general. Lastly, Mermail seems to be one of those decks where at the beginning of formats, people just seem to flock to it. It's kind of like how Gleds used to be. And I'm looking at DD Warrior Lady in particular, and I'm thinking, wow, you're pretty strong in this matchup because first off, you get rid of Abyss Linde, which is just a problem card and really difficult to deal with. Second, you get rid of the Exceed, that's just a pain in the ass as well, Abyss Sprite. I mean, people put that card in defense mode, usually off Bahamut Shark, and it sits there for like 10 turns because it's got 2800 defense, and if you Dark Hole it, it summons another monster. So, you know, having a card that can just easily deal with both of those is really nice. And I've actually heard some rumblings that Mermail players are contemplating dropping heavy infantry from the deck completely. So if you have your DD Warrior Lady in face-up attack mode, I mean, the fear of her getting popped and not getting your effect, I mean, that seems to be dwindling down. They're going to probably have to take it out in battle. You know, now the cards aren't really that great against Fire Fist, Prophecy, and Geargia, but I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So I think the fact that they're both decent beaters and they're both searchable, you know, I think that that helps in the bad matchups. So I'm actually in the process of building Chain Beat, and I think right now I'm kind of favoring DD Assailant because, you know, you have like the Seal of the Orichalcos, it gets to a really legit 2200 attack, and just the extra 200 attack helps you take care of, you know, like road cards like a bear if they don't have a fire formation, or, you know, they'd have to clash with like snow or something like that. I wouldn't take any damage. So I don't know. I think that these cards are very viable right now. You know, you're starting to see monsters with destruction effects are not as prevalent as they were in previous formats. It's not nearly as easy to drop shit like Draccosack and just be popping monsters. A lot of monster board clearing is happening through a battle, and I mean, that bodes well for cards like this. You know, they're great answers to Ophion, great answers to Garunix, if those are going to be some of the top decks. So, you know, just some ideas for cards that I think are going to be playable. Let me know what you guys think, and thank you for watching as always. Subscribing makes life happy.